Hey guys, Coach Tucker with Tuckergang Sports. We're here to highlight episode 3. I'm here with my partner,
Daryl Riggs.
We're excited to be with you guys. Zach Thomas, our other sidekick, is with us.
Yes, sir.
Special guest on episode 3, Jonthan Wade, Tennessee defensive back, 2002-2006, second team All-SEC, 4 or 5 year NFL career. Got a lot of great stuff going on off the field as well, influencing the youth and the next generation. We're going to cover football, life, and anything in beyond that we decided to talk about. Riggs, what do you got on it?
Well, today, man, obviously we got our man Jay Wade on. We're going to talk a little bit about what our Vols have been doing lately, and obviously catch up with him and what he's got going on. And he's doing some really special things in the community where he's at, and in Texas, and with the young kids. So we're going to be able to touch on a lot of good things today.
Zach?
Yeah, I'm really excited, to touch base with him. There's so many like plays and memories I have, just as a fan of his. So, I'm anxious to see like kind of some of his favorite moments and stuff like that as a Vol. So yeah, looking forward to it. Great.
Episode 3 coming soon. John Wade. Follow us on our YouTube channel, Tuckergang Sports. Don't just view it. Make sure to like and subscribe. It's free. It's easy. It's one little click with your finger. And it helps us get to where we want to get and growing our thing and trying to bring you the best content possible. We love you guys. Stay tuned. So open it up here. Go ahead and announce our guest here. We've got Jonthan Wade with us from Shreveport, Louisiana, Tennessee defensive back from 2002 to 2006. Obviously, probably 2006 was his best year. Led the Vols in pass deflections, and he was second on the team in interceptions. Wade was also named second team All-SEC that year. John Wade, what up? We love you. We're glad to have you here. Got a lot of topics to talk.
Mr. 20.8 when he started jogging halfway down the straight.
What is it? 60 meters? 6.67? I think that took place in Fayetteville, Florida, correct?
Yeah. Fayetteville, man. Good times, bad times in Arkansas. I hated going to Arkansas.
Yeah. Big quick shout out too. We'll open it up here. We want to give a big thanks to our official apparel provider of the show, the Athletic Shop. They've got pretty much anything you need, custom apparel for athletic needs. Southeast's most trusted uniform dealer, and are the best at what they do for any team sports or branding needs. The Athletic Shop is your one-stop shop for custom goods. Contact Crystal Brooks, sales rep. She will take care of you for whatever your needs are. You've seen the shirts on me. All of mine are dirty. They need to send me more. I'm expecting more. So, we'll have them, and they'll be on sale, I hope, soon as well. We'll see where that goes. But John Wade, man, let's just go ahead and open this up. We're going to kind of reflect on this Tennessee-Georgia weekend. Me and Riggs were there. We were kind of in the cut, down the field, we dated back to Ole Miss, starting there. And then the atmosphere there, we got beat. And then Georgia. I mean, I've been going, like I said, told you earlier in the show, 20 years. And, I haven't felt the atmosphere that I felt up there in probably a decade. And it just feels right, man. It feels like it's getting back to where it's going to be. And I think, like you said, with Heupel, the scheme that he runs, we've touched on this in our first episode. Me and Riggs discussed it. The depth is an issue, but with that system, he's going to get to where we want to be a lot faster when he adds the horses to go with it.
Absolutely. And the horses will come. The Riggs will come.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, Bama's, Nick Saban, those schools, they're going to get the Gerald Riggs of the world and stuff right now. But you got to still go get those guys that, know they can ball. And they want to take this ride with, and we used to be really good back in the day at like getting those. That's Al Wilson. Those are those guys, that the loyal guys that's just, the ride or die type of.
See through and through.
Leave everything on the field every day at practice, get back to getting, we had to clean up some things too for a while. But shit, it's time, man. It's time to go.
It's just, and there's a lot of Alabama fans in our area, we
for sure.
Talk. And you obviously they've got a lot to be arrogant about, man.
For sure. A couple years though.
Yeah, I'll be the most obnoxious human being when we get to where at that point,
Oh, I'm obnoxious now. I'm a DB. I don't care.
I still let them know. We're Tennessee no matter what.
Yeah, I hate Alabama people, Ohio State people, Oklahoma. I got a list of them.
Wade, how do you think NIL is going to be? How do you think that'll impact recruiting for Tennessee, and how that plays into where that Tennessee is a place where, a lot of people, there's a lot of businesses, and in terms of a college town here, Tennessee, the population in Knoxville kind of, it kind of dwarfs like an Athens or a Gainesville or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you think that would be a leg up for Tennessee? And would that be kind of like the next step for how Tennessee would be able to get to the level of a Georgia and Alabama in recruiting?
Okay. You want to know how good Heupel is? That's where you find out. Not on the field. He's great on the field.
What's
we got
he
it
doing
there. Let's now be special at using what you have as an entire state as a resource. And these NIL deals are a cheat code if you look at it the right way. High schoolers shouldn't even be going after scholarships. They should be going after NIL. I saw that kid from South Lake. I saw his high school play this year. He just left them hanging, that's the goal. And if there's a way that they can tie in some of these things that Tennessee can offer, no matter, whatever it is, it's got to be a bonus, right? Like, because I'm sure Nick Saban's going to have some stuff dialed up in Alabama that you didn't even know these companies or brands existed, but these players and these athletes come in with these deals with them. So, matter of fact, I need some cookies now. I asked for cookies with the last when he got the last interception.
Lante Taylor listening. We need the cookies, man.
I need my cookies, bro. I was on the radio on the show with Swain during that.
Hey, following up on what you're saying, Wade, with Tennessee, as bad as we've been the past 10 to 15 years, as far as facilities, we're second to none. Money, they talk about these buyouts we've had to pay.
Money.
Can we pay a big name? Look here.
Aren't they getting a new? Aren't they building something new?
Yeah,
$30 million football upgrade.
And not only that, the renovations for Neyland are supposed to start.
Yeah, I was about to say that after the Vanderbilt game, they are shutting down Neyland and shutting down something else. Right? I think, as a matter of fact, we might. I think Tennessee has to play something somewhere else next year because they're not sure that it's going to be ready opening day because of the stuff that they're going to be doing. I think we might be.
Yeah, that first week probably being a kickoff classic or something.
I got something for you guys. Random trivia. Give me another major university that can give you Peyton Manning, Candace Parker, and Justin Gatlin. 3 separate sports.
Nobody.
Think on it. It may take you some time. I didn't just come up with that.
USC can give you that. USC can give you that. USC. Well, no, who did they have in track, though? I don't think they had anybody in track.
No.
They had a sprinter, a female sprinter, Angela Williams. She won 4 titles.
I'm about to say,
for some reason, Stanford's in my mind.
The only other school that I can think of probably would be maybe LSU because they've had Shaq, Joe Burrow, and who was it?
That's not going to work.
On track. I can't remember. Who was it?
Having that said, now when it comes to NIL deals,
yeah.
No, you're second to none.
No, there's no other school that can brand like Tennessee. And if you think about the brand of Tennessee, I don't know about you guys and Jay Wade, of course, I know you've traveled a bunch, abroad and other things like that. And I can tell you, other than Notre Dame, the University of Notre Dame, there is only one school that you can go anywhere in the world, literally anywhere in the world, and you will run into somebody who went to Tennessee.
Randomly, it's gonna be like one person
in Amsterdam on a random night in Amsterdam at like 2 a.m, and somebody was like, "Hey, Gerald Riggs, what are you doing here in Amsterdam?" And I was like, "I'm on vacation, just like you. Like, what's up?" And you know what I mean? It was just, you run into people everywhere, right? And for a school like Tennessee, that should be, that's what's so frustrating about where we've gotten to because. There's so many resources. Even back when we came into school back in 2002, Tennessee was ahead of the curve in pretty much everything.
We didn't lack for anything.
No, like there was never. I was like, shoot, going to the NFL in some ways was a step down. You know what I mean? Depending on where you went. You know what I mean?
It was game day wise for sure.
Yeah, like the game day experience, total step down once you got to the league. Like it was like, man.
That's the thing. Anybody. Even in all SEC stadiums, these guys that get drafted and like. They're playing in front of 20,000 to 30,000 less than what they did every Saturday.
It's an immediate letdown with the fans. It's totally
not the same energy, not the same fanfare, none of the same.
It's nothing the
same. Now I will say this: one that I have experienced, I've saw and I've experienced that I think comes close. You got to think Seattle and Denver. Now those places rock especially when it's playoff football or something.
I mean, they pump in their crowd noise, right?
Like yeah,
Tennessee don't
Denver does majorly.
The only reason why Seattle has a 12
man. You better
man.
stop telling the
You
truth.
heard it here. Gerald Riggs.
Yeah, you better stop telling the truth.
I mean, hey, look, I think they already got busted for it. I think.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
they got busted for it.
In terms of, I mean, we've all talked about like the resources that Tennessee has had throughout the last 15 years, but it's been since 2007 since they made the SEC championship. Wade, we'll start with you. I mean, just what are some of the things that's happened over the last couple of years that you can kind of pinpoint down to like, okay, this was kind of the start of the downfall, because you guys, for you guys were right there towards the tail end before it was coaching change after coaching change, administration after administration. What are some of the things like on towards the tail end of your career where you were just like, I don't know if this is going to end well?
Tail end of my career, well, first of all, I got away from all politics by going to defense.
Okay.
Seriously. Once I realized,
he was the smart one in the apartment.
Once I realized there was one football, and I'm fast and cute and all that, but 6'3", 215 from Oklahoma is much more attractive. Number one player in the state. 6'1", 210 pounds from Alabama is way more attractive to me. Like it's only 1 foot, and Riggs has got to get it.
Yeah.
So
get it too.
That was probably the smartest decision I made, was going to that side. But as far as like seeing it, I really didn't. I was more concerned about, because I was the year after Riggs. I got the backfall of that draft. Those were the guys I came in with. So after they left, there was after y'all left, it was like a cloud, I guess, that we felt we had to remove. Mm-hmm. Like an instant, like what the F just happened? Like how we just ain't go to no bowl game type, like I didn't go home, bro. I don't know if it was like 5 or 6 of us, me, Bump. Like we didn't go home. We stayed there. Inky, Swain, Meach, we never went home.
Yeah. You're sitting there talking about that, and I'm talking, how our depth at receiver currently, we've got 2 horses, 2 to 3 horses, yeah. And then we have nothing. I'm looking here at the 05 roster, man, and you just don't remember and grasp. I mean, CJ Payton, Fitz Hannon, Lucas Taylor, Austin Rogers, Robert Meacham, Jackson Swain, Brett Smith, Josh Briscoe. I mean, Chris Brown.
Hannon was 6'4" and as fast as me.
Yeah.
So what?
He's 6'4". He's 6'4". What was he? 190 at the time. One something like
that. He was as fast as me.
Yeah, 1.42.
We might have had the fastest. We might have had the fastest like roommate situation. Me and roommates. We might have the fastest roommates ever.
Oh, Hannon South Florida.
I think
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. But to answer your question, from my perspective, and I think Jay Wade would agree with this in certain ways, I think really what happened within the program was there was a loss of trust between players and staff. You had,
and that was clear. I mean,
you had a group of players that, because, well, here, let me go back and say this. Former and those guys made their bones by recruiting a certain type of athlete, right? Like when you came
by certain athlete, I'm gonna also interject something that's very true, that's unsaid. Mm-hmm. He also recruited people that wanted to go straight to the NFL.
Right.
So that vibe of people wanting to go to the NFL over wanting to win championships
messed it all up.
It's a 2-part thing, You might get the guys that want to go, but those guys are going to be about them.
Right. And that you talk about the coaching, it was, that's what took place. But then, the roster, obviously, you look at the recruits, the talent, you guys go in to Louisiana on Tuesday night and pretty much play against the whole United States of America, because nobody wanted you to lose after what they just went through. And you guys went in there and punched them in the mouth and survived, and we showed adversity. Down 24-0, I believe, at halftime.
Yeah, Riggs, remember when they had a group? Hey, Riggs, remember when they were taking the buses before the game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like how they broke out the bus windows. They did all that stuff, tried to tip. It was bad, man. But the thing about it, to touch on what Jay Wade was saying, was, you had a group of guys that, they wanted to go on and play in the NFL. They wanted to do that, but they also wanted to win where they were. And I think that was what a lot of us, I can't speak for everybody, but I think I can speak for most when I say, at least when our class came in, you had guys that were in that 98, 99, 2000. Those guys wanted to win. Like, they wanted to go to the league. Everybody wanted to do that, but they wanted to win. And you had our group that came there because a lot of guys wanted to win. Like you said, hey, man, and a lot of us came from winning programs. Yep. So, you want to continue to win. I know that was the reason why I went to Tennessee, because I could have went to Arizona State and started day one.
They were the number 2 team in the country that year too.
Right. Like they were literally a half away from playing the national championship the year before. Right. So we were like, look, if with our class coming in, we fill in the gaps where they missing out. We're going right back to
they win the SEC championship the year before we get there, Riggs. They end up playing Miami in the national championship if they don't lose to LSU that year.
Right. If they don't lose, and I was at that game. I was at the LSU game in the SEC title game, because both schools were actively recruiting me very hard at the time. So I was at the game, and as a matter of fact, it was funny. I wore green so that way they wouldn't, you know what I mean? So people would be like, you know what I mean?
Bro, you were a big deal. You probably had to do something like that. You were a celebrity. I almost got your autograph when I met
you. Riggs, you know who else are winners, don't you? We got a certain dealership that I think.
Yeah. We definitely got to shout out our boys, man. Moss Motor Company, man, #1 dealer in Chattanooga area for Ford. One of our biggest supporters, man. They've been with us since day one, helping us get this thing off the ground. So we just always want to shout out those guys and show our appreciation. And all you folks in Chattanooga and the Valley area, you need A+ customer service, and want to find you the right car for you. Go see our guys over at Moss Motor Company. They'll definitely take care of you.
Absolutely. John, hitting on something else, next topic, kind of what you're involved with the youth. I think you got a little bit of training going on with the youth athletes, and what, not only the athletic side of it, but how you're mentoring young men. We worked kind of with Jabari and the VFL Legends of Tennessee. We believe in what they do, and we raised $1,000 donation for them. And we're awesome. We're trying to learn a little bit about what you got, because that's what we want to do, spotlighting our current and former Vols that are doing things in their community that's better in our future. Because right now, and no matter what side, government, the world is just crazy right now. We all need to come together and try to, impact our future, our kids, to make this place a better place.
Well, I'm a product of the Pee Wee football world myself. My father coached he ran an organization for 30 years successfully. And so I watched him do it. I was a kid that, I didn't get to actually play on my father's team. He coached a certain age, so you had to get up to that age, but he coached like the best team in the org. And, we weren't one of the best teams, so we wouldn't get my dad. Yeah. So, I was a kid that had to go in the backyard and practice my quarterback handoffs on the trees and stuff. And, I learned a lot from that. And being kind of the way I am and letting things slide the way I did as an athlete, not always putting my best foot forward, not always studying when I should. I can see the way I see the game going, and the way I see certain people stand out. I'll use one name in particular, Percy Harvin. There's something about a natural football player when they step on the field and they just naturally know how to go, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can put this person anywhere on the field to do anything, they just get it. And so I felt that even though I played ball all my life, I didn't know certain things. Like, for instance, let's take a lineman, right? Let's take a lineman that is learning how to play from the age of 7 to middle school. He's probably, the first time he's ever going to hear someone tell him to actually talk or say something or do something is going to be when he's in middle school. Or a cornerback that's on a football team that's 10. I'll make those guys press,
Absolutely.
knowing the other team's never going to throw it. But that one time when they do throw it,
It's thrown off.
not only is it thrown off, but that kid has to now be aware at age 11, 12, 10, 8. You may never get a ball all game, and they may throw one at you and they catch it and they lose because of you.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's so great to hear you say that, because I noticed even in the decades that I've been out of high school and playing in college, whatever, like, it's not that long of a time period. But, kids now, I coach high school basketball. I've got 3 years under my belt with that. They're just different now as far as I think you got to be a certain way now. You can't be like some coaches were, just even like short time, 5 to 10 years back, and learning new ways to connect with kids to get the point across.
I've played Madden. I tell so many people to do this. And I don't just I've coached teams. I'm more of like I'm the person that these kids can like ask any question to.
Absolutely.
I'll answer, I'll put my cleats on if I need to show them something but I played Madden I used to, my first year when I first started, I used to get on the internet or online with my quarterback who was 9, and we would play Madden, and I would just do it just to see how his mind worked, to see if I could trick him to make him think. On a video game, a kid is going to do everything they think they can. They're going to pick the person they wish they could be and do the things they think. They're going to give you all the answers to them if you pay attention.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. They would definitely do that.
We've kind of touched on like some of the great players and some of the great teams that you were a part of at Tennessee. I'm kind of curious on this. Like, what was your favorite team that you were a part of? What year was that? And if it's not Tennessee, even if it goes into the NFL, what was your favorite locker room that you were a part of?
Oh,
Minnesota.
Now, Riggs, that freshman locker room is crazy.
Yeah, that'll do. I'm gonna tell you
remember,
right now.
like,
Right now, if you
remember Villain, bro?
Yeah, like I put it to you like this, and Jay Wade will attest to this. Anytime people ask me, like, you got all the things that go on now, right? Like, people are like, "Oh, we're against player hazing, we're against bullying, we're against this, and we're against that." If you were in that locker room in 2002 and you couldn't handle being bullied, being joked on constantly, like, you could just be walking into the locker room and they'll find any and everything to mess with you about. Like,
we were self-police.
Right, like you had to have tough skin. It was
the
pretty
coaches
much,
didn't have to come get anything straight in that locker room.
No, and I'll never forget the first time something happened. I don't know if you were in the locker room when this happened, Jay Wade, but there was something happened, and Chief came in to the locker room to talk about it, and everybody was like, "Whoa, what you doing here?" He was like, "I don't want to talk." He was like, "Get your ass out. We'll deal with it. Get out." And Chief was like, "Okay," and just walked out, and it got dealt with. But the thing about it was everybody had, and we all took our lumps, right? Like, everybody took their lumps in some sort of way. Everybody had to get they're helping the humble pie in some sort of way. But the great thing about it was everybody knew, it was like, all right, man, you got to come to work. You got to do your job. You got to do what you're supposed to do. But it was the type of atmosphere where you had guys that were so ultra competitive that it would come out in different ways, whether they were joking on you or whatnot, but it kept everybody on their toes. Like, it kept you in the back, like, hey man, you got to come correct every day.
Kept everybody engaged.
Yeah, you guys.
Like, you can't mentally check out. You just can't. Like, no. If you do, you're not going to be really a part of it.
We had a large amount of freshmen playing on that team too. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of Banks had to step in and play a couple. Like, a lot of us had to go and like really contribute early. Like, and it because we were expected to win again. The team before was in the SEC championship. We didn't do that. We were kind of we fell off. So the demands were high, the expectations were high.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this,
bro. We had Miami for homecoming. Who did that though? Like,
who did that? Like, that was terrible.
That's the year after.
I don't know if you remember this, Jay Wade, but early in the year when we played Georgia and Athens that year, was that the game that you got your first real serious run on defense. I was basically at tailback because Sid had a broken thumb. James started at quarterback. We were all true freshmen, and there was like 8. Paris and Justin Harrell were on the other side. There was literally like 8 of us out there starting as true freshmen for Tennessee on a nationally televised CBS 3:30 game.
Looking at each other like, what is going on?
Yeah, like, bro, we're here now, bro. Like, ain't nowhere to hide now. Like, we got to play now. Like, we got to earn these ratings now.
Following up what you and Wade and what Riggs was touching on as far as, guys holding each other accountable in that locker room. You guys know as well as I do in any sport, when you get that with, the team camaraderie, and you've got guys holding each other accountable instead of having to depend on a coach or a higher up, that's when a team onto something pretty special.
But that's when you can move on to the next part. Like, if you're steady, if you're steady having to police guys, if the coaches are having to police the players, like you can't get to the next part. You're still you haven't even swung yet.
That obviously the football stuff, the info, the stories, that's a big part of it. Also, John, we'd like to dive in with you and kind of talk what you got going on as far as any investments, real estate, things you got, projects you have, or anything you're involved with that you'd be comfortable sharing, kind of advice and what to do.
None at all. At this moment, I am truly sitting still in like a peaceful state, just kind of relaxing, I've been through a lot. And at times, like I'm just right now, one of these moments where I'm just kind of taking like a couple months and just chilling out. Like, don't invest, don't look at no crypto, don't do nothing, just chill out, relax, kind of,
Sometimes you gotta just unplug, man. You gotta
say what? Yeah, man. Just take
it. Man, everything works better if you unplug it and then plug it back up again. You know what I mean?
Get off the map for a while, recharge, and come back strong.
Absolutely.
One thing I wanted to give you an opportunity about, obviously we touch online, and people that know you online and see your online presence, they see the things that you talk about in terms, especially when it turns to the youth. And we talked a little bit about your experiences with you, but also give everybody just kind of a little bit more information about exactly what you do, because you don't really give yourself enough credit for what you do.
Absolutely.
You do it. You know what I mean?
I don't think I do anything.
You got awesome stuff going on, man.
I do what I would have wanted, what I truly wanted someone. Again, I told you, my dad coached for 30, he did this for 30 years, and I was always hearing information, but there's nothing like when you can look at someone that that you can go Google, and we couldn't Google anybody back then, but to be able to be someone that they can Google or YouTube and be like, hey, he really played, and he may really know what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
And I'm just willing to step on a 10-year-old football field with my cleats on while they're having practice and explain to their kids how to do cover 3 the same way I'll do this if Dion asked me to come to Jackson State and do it. Not that he would need it, but I just do the same intensity. And I've noticed that because certain things don't change. You tackle, you run, you catch, you throw. What's the other one? You run, catch, throw, tackle, block, and those things don't change. So if I put that same intensity into whatever age group it is, the results should turn out differently. So that's my biggest thing, being someone that they can trust. I had Terry Fair talk me through the summer after you left. He was in my summer class going into my last year. And again, I'm saying after y'all left, Riggs, because that was big for me, bro. We came in and my people were gone. Yeah, I'm here with these new cats that I really didn't come in with, and I got to figure it out. So but he talked me through what it was going to take to be drafted. I've now had my first person that I could go to about every question that had just went through everything I went through, that played corner, that wasn't big. He was average size, but he got drafted, and I can ask him every single question And that was something that I was longing for. And I know a lot of kids long for that. And so that's kind of my whole thing. You know, if it's something that, regardless to what position too, if there's a question they have and I don't know the answer, I won't go to sleep without finding it.
Right.
If there's a quarterback that needs work on whatever, I'll try to change his offense for his team so that it works, so that he can be successful. I want everybody to win. They're not running out of scholarships, and they damn sure not running out of NIL money.
Right.
No.
And I know the sooner you can get it, like I saw cornerbacks play in the NFL that played carefree. That made no sense to me. That's like, it's a really hard job to play corner because there's a lot of, like, if you get beat, the scoreboard changes, but some of them played with so much fundamentally sound technique that when they got to the NFL, they were never pressed about making a mistake because their mistakes were correct. So I feel like when you have an athlete that only knows how to do it right, because it's just ingrained, it's tattooed, it's embedded in their mind. When you can get that to them young, they can just go play free. They can just go react.
You know, you said you didn't feel like you were doing anything, but I think I share the same opinion of everybody on the panel and probably most of America. You're fulfilling your purpose in life, man. And it's good to see that, especially with, you know, doing that on the athletic side. I've learned as far as being in coaching and kids trusting what I'm telling them is, you know, if there's an issue or they're in trouble, they're more likely to trust you to tell you ahead of time before something bad happens. And you're that mentor that they trust, can go to, and, you know, can really benefit a kid, man, in the long run.
I told I had a kid randomly tell me a couple of weeks ago that he was getting a telescope for Christmas out the blue. What? Getting a telescope. Okay. What he didn't know was I'm a kid who grew up thinking that I was going to be like the first Black astronaut. Seriously, like, I don't know why. Just I'm, you know, Saturn is by far the coolest thing just that has ever been made to me.
Amazing.
And so if you actually look up where we are in Texas, if you look up at nighttime right now, you can actually see Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. And I told this kid the next time I saw him, it's like, look up. It had nothing to do with football, nothing to do with sports, nothing to do, but I knew it's so much more about connecting with them on something else, so that when you do need to be able to, like, get the message across, they know they can relate right then. But and a lot of coaches, a lot of people, they just miss that. They think it's all rah, 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 and just go do what I told you to do and do. A lot of people don't know that Nick Saban is like he looks out for these kids way more than people know. It's not the Nick Saban that you get to the media. It's not. He is their guy that they can go to for anything. And that's why he gets what he gets out of them.
Absolutely.
As they say, you know, it's the same thing. You know, the kids, they don't care how much you know.
How much
right?
You care.
They just care. They just want to know how much you care. And when they know how much you care about them, they'll do anything for you, right? And that goes along with what Jay Wade was saying. Is like, you know, and that's the same experiences I've had. Is some of the best relationships I've had with kids I either train or have coached is, you know, when they call me 5 years later or some 10 years later, you know what I mean? Guys that I've worked with that are in college now, or, you know, I got a couple guys that I've worked with that were, you know, middle and high school that are, you know, in their first year in the league now. And when we talk, we don't even talk about ball. It literally is not, we don't talk about football. It's not like the most of it is, hey, you played good the other day, man. You're not bad. Hey, you could have done a little bit better at this.
Yeah,
whatever. And then crack a joke or two about it. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. How's your family? How's school going? What you up to? How's your girlfriend? What's up with this? You know, we staying out. All those different things that are not football related that are really what connects you are the things that's when you realize you really have something. When
Yeah,
you do
for
like
sure.
what I do is, you know, hey, they come and call you and say, hey, coach, I got an issue I need to talk to you about. Okay, what's up? And you're sitting there thinking like, all right, man, he gonna ask me about a play. He gonna ask me about this. And all of a sudden he'd be like, nah, coach, I got this situation, bro, at home. And I'm like,
I need him to they need to be comfortable enough, truthfully, to call about the girls. We've been there.
Right. Right.
We've seen a lot of people make a lot of mistakes with girls. Like,
Yeah.
it happens, but unless if it's not open, if you always yelling at them,
right.
It's hard. It's hard to end up.
Listen to them. You know what I mean? Like, listen to them sometimes. Just like, hey man, just tell me what you think. Like, you know, I don't know if Jay Wade, I'm pretty sure Jay Wade does this plenty with his guys. I know I do with mine. Is every now and then I'm like, hey man, what's on your mind? And just talk. Like, I'm not gonna say nothing. Just get it out. Tell me what you think. Tell me what's bothering you. Telling me where you're at in your thought process about everything.
We ain't finna get nothing done no way with you looking like that.
No. You know, the thing, like you said, you know, I've done training and individual skills and coaching. You do your thing. Riggs got Beast University. And one thing that is so great about it, I'm sure you guys share the same opinion, is, you know, when you get through your playing career, you don't think that you'll ever find anything to fulfill that need that athlete needs. But when you grind and you invest the time with a kid and you see him grow, that the first time in my life I had this exact same feeling as when I was stepping on the floor or a field. Like, it was, and to see a kid flourish, that's as good as it gets, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Nothing like it once you see the light coming on. It's relieving. You can move on to the next thing. And because you're young, you know, there's so many next things, you know, we can finally move up once. It's amazing once they start getting it.
And you know, you remember as a kid that age when you looked up to, you know, when I was a kid's age, you looked up to somebody in their mid-20s and they would try to tell you certain things, but you would ignore it. You thought you was cool. But now, you know, these kids, I'm being able to give back to the kids that are in their late teens and early 20s, in my late 20s. But now, instead of ignoring advice, I'm trying to suck everything I can out of mentors and people that are in business or real estate. Like, I'm just trying to soak it all in. You know?
Hey, believe it or not, I called, and I deal with little kids. Now I deal with high schoolers too, you know. But I talked to like Coach Slade for about 2 hours, dog. Just ask. Coach Slade, I had a note.
That's a former defensive back coach.
Thanks, Coach. You take.
I'm sorry.
That's the best of the best, man.
Oh my God, I was taking notes. He was like, I felt like I told him, I was like, I feel like I'm in a lecture class that I want to be in right now. This is insane.
Right.
But information is so important. I know that's like super cliche, but it is, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember, I guess this is 2020. Well, I guess what Clemson was just starting to make their rise.
14, 15 era, somewhere in there.
14, 15, 16. I had a business partner that I was dealing with. He was a big, huge Clemson fan. We were always at the Clemson game. And I remember one weekend we went down to Clemson, and I ran into our old running back coach, Woody McCorby. And he's down there as administrator on the role, basically, you know, assistant athletic director and, you know, assistant to Dabo and whatnot. And I remember we sat and talked, you know, it was for at least 2 hours on the Saturday. Out there on Friday morning because my guy, like I said, my guy was a big Clemson booster, so he had all the stuff to do and whatever. And they took me over to the complex, and I remember I didn't tell Woody or Coach Brooks I was coming in town. I just was like, hey, I'm gonna go surprise them. And so I walk in the complex there, and I saw Woody walking around. And if you know Woody, you know Jay Wade knows, if you know Woody, you can spot Woody out in front of anybody. He's always the cleanest dressed. He's always, you know, got a smooth walk. You know what I mean? Like you can't not spot Woody. So I yelled, I was like, Woody. And we sit there and talk, and we just talked for the longest time. And I remember, you know, thinking to myself, golly, man, like if I would have had this hat on 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, when he was trying to tell me stuff, and I was like, man, just give me the damn ball, bro. I don't want to hear just give me the ball. I don't want to hear nothing you talk about. Just give me the ball. But I'm sitting here like, man, he's just dropping gems and after gem after gem on me. And I'm just like, golly, man. You know, and it helped me in a lot of different ways because I was able to, you know, my career started off sputtery, and then I ended up getting in the CFL in the middle to make some things happen. But you know, all of that information that he gave me, I was able to turn around and give to the next crop of guys. And you know, a lot of these kids, man, that I've been, you know, have the privilege of working with since that time, you know, not to brag or anything, but a lot of these kids have had success based on that information that I was given. right? And that's the beauty of all of this is that, you know, we were able to do what we were able to do in our own time, but the great thing now is that we're able to take all of that information, and it's cool because I look back on my dad, you know, having played a 12-year NFL career, Super Bowl champion, all pro, all that sort of stuff. I find myself a lot of times sounding like him, right? Like he would tell me stuff when I was growing up. You know, I was one of those kids, man, that I was ahead of my years because of all the technique and things that I do, you know, at a very early age. Like I could go out and play on the offensive line. I could play on the defensive line. I could play receiver. I could play quarterback. I could pretty much play any position on the field as a young person because I had all that knowledge and information. So being able to pass that stuff down now and to see how it all comes together. And like Jay Wade said, when you see somebody's light come on and they get it, that's like, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there's no substitute for suiting up and getting out there. You're never going to ever replace that.
No,
you know, because there's nothing like being in the trench. There's nothing like being in the tunnel. There's nothing like standing out there knowing the whole world is watching you and you got to make it happen.
Let's go to war.
But, you know, at the same time, it is a joyous feeling when you know that what you were able to pour into somebody, they were smart enough to take with it and make something happen for themselves, man. That's just awesome stuff, man, that you can't buy that kind of stuff.
No, see the certain kids, like you said, the ones we train, you know, obviously work ethic is an issue with a lot of the younger generation and the youth. But when you get those guys that buy in, you know, obviously we still train and try to do the things with them. We wouldn't ask that. Your motto is kind of similar to mine. I'm not going to ask the kid to do anything that I wouldn't do. So I try to do all those things with them. But when they buy in and you see them working and you've got that, you're thinking back over your career, you know, the work ethic that you have. And, you know, we're pushing ourselves at this age and they're willing to go along with us and they're still kids. Like that's a big deal. And that's a step toward being a good man.
John, this is my last question, by the way. You know, any former player that I talk to, you know, I always ask this question. You know, us as fans, like we remember certain moments, like if we were at the game or if we were watching where we were watching the game at or whatever the case. You know, what's your favorite memory as of all? Just in terms of your time there.
Excitement in John's face when you asked that question has got me ramped up right now. I'm ready for this. This is popcorn ready. Get you popcorn.
Oh
ready.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously, I'm not gonna joke. I'm not gonna like not tell y'all this. That Dallas Baker moment was strategic.
Wow.
It was strategic.
They always catch the second man.
They do. They always. Okay, listen. If you guys have any kids that watch this, let's just say, what if I did just take a chance and try some dumb stuff to see if the second man would get caught? Go back and look at it. I shoved him in front of the ref, and we have been doing that all game, bro. Riggs, you remember that we needed anything.
Look, I'll never forget.
Your push was 10 times worse than his ever thought about.
Well, so I'll never forget the sequence, right, of what happened. So let me take you back, probably 8-9 minutes, right? So we're driving down on offense. We're like, damn it, we just haven't been able to really break away and have something really big happen. Well,
Brett Smith.
Finally, Eric hit
Brett Smith.
No, it wasn't Brett. Eric hit.
Yeah, it was.
Eric hit Tony Brown over the middle.
Okay.
And it was just like, bam, everything happened, and we get down there and we score, and then Will Hoyt misses the damn extra point. And so I remember on the sideline, everybody was like, yeah, some guys that were just like, all right, man, damn it. You know what I mean? And then, some guys were like, shit, I'm going to kill Will Hoyt. But, you know what I mean? It was crazy. It was a bunch of mixed emotions stuff going on. And we're sitting there like, I don't know what we're going to do because Florida's just finna run this ball and we're not going to get it back. They're going to give it to Deshaun Wynn and his big ass is just going to run and run and run and run. And I remember sitting there and we're watching. We was like, oh, shit, it's third down.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, we look up, and it seemed like everybody just happened to be looking in Jay Wade's direction. And all of us were sitting, like those of the guys that were sitting on offense were looking, and we saw what happened, and we were like,
oh, no.
Oh, we were like, no, like immediately. And then when Dallas swung back, we were like, You big dummy. Like, you
Hey.
big dummy. He baited you into it and you fell for it. Like, you fell. And we were all sitting there like, first of all, I can't believe Jay Wade tried it. Second of all, I can't believe Dallas was dumb enough to go for it.
The amount of free beer I got that night from
listen,
I was in Buffalo Wild Wings on the strip, and that clip came on, and they literally cheered and brought me and my brother free beers at Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's funny that was his favorite. Go ahead, Riggs.
No, I was just saying that moment was crazy because, like, you know, and of course, like, you know, I don't know what other guys do or anything, but after the game was over, usually on Sunday we're off, you know, we get treatment or whatever. A lot of us used to sit and watch the game, the TV copy, just to see what it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And we're sitting there watching the TV copy, and when it happened, everybody was like, Dallas, what are you thinking? Like,
yeah. It was a run
when you
play.
see it play out on
run
TV,
play. We were so far away from the play. Like, we had nothing to do with the play. That was why it was so risky for me to even.
Like, they're literally 30 yards downfield away from everything else. It's like, what were you thinking? Like, you had no, like, I can't believe you got sucked into that. And it was just like, it was just one of those moments where you're just sitting there like, man, you know. And there was another moment that I've had a bunch of favorite ones, but the one that was like this, and I know you remember this one, Jay Wade. So we're at Bama. Two moments that I loved. I didn't get to play much in this game, but I remember just, you know, being a small part of it. But it was just fun to watch, and it was something to be a part of because it was a long game, 6 overtime game.
03.
You know, 5 overtime games, over 3 in 03. And there were 2 plays that happened in that game that pretty much changed everything. We had a 3rd and 7. We're in their territory. I think we're just beyond the 50. I think we're on like the 45. We have a 3rd and 7. James Bank is flanked to the right. And James, now let me run this back, right? Like, anybody who knows anything about James Banks, James history, like, you know what I mean? There was always just a little something there, right? Like, always something there, right? And the coaches wanted to get James on the field so bad, but just James would do stuff every now and then that would just kind of make you scratch your head. So we're in the game. James flinches. And instead of falling forward, he falls to the side. And when he falls to the side, he's looking at Casey to see when the ball is snapped.
To see if
the cornerback, I think it was Charlie. Was it Charlie Pepper? At the cornerback, all of a sudden, when he sees James hit the ground, he looks down and looks at the ref like, yo, I think your man, something's going on with him. Like, something's wrong. But all of a sudden, Scott Wells snaps the ball. James hops up, runs 8 yards, right in behind the sticks, catches it, gets a first down. We go in and score and keep the game alive. Then we're 3rd and 16. We're 3rd and 16. Or no, fourth. No, yeah.
Fourth. Clausen hit across the middle. Was it Phaeton?
Yeah, it was 4th and 16. Now, Jay Wade can attest to this. Jay Wade can attest to this, right? And it'll bring you to my 3rd play that was my favorite. CJ Phaeton, out of all of the skill players, when we would run sprints, we would run never in first. Never. When I tell you, never. We'd be like, look, CJ, we like, and I love Showtime to death, but I was like, Showtime might be the slowest big time player I've ever seen in my life, right?
CJ was on the basketball team too.
Right. Like, just you like, what the hell? But he was just an athlete, right? And
very much
he gets open, makes this play, and we're all like, holy hell, how the hell did this happen? We get 17 on 4th and 16. And then the next year when we're playing in the Cotton Bowl, I think it was the first play of the game for us on offense, CJ catches a slant and completely outruns Texas A&M. And we're like, oh my, hey, we about to blow them out. Like, if CJ's out here running for, we about to blow them out. And I remember, of course, you know, it ended up being 38-7 that day or something like that. But yeah, those were just like crazy moments. And again, you know, Jay Wade can attest to this, man. Like, we just had so many guys that were just gifted in so many different ways. Like, a lot of times the best stuff we ever saw wasn't even in the game. Like, you be seeing practice, like, bro, how'd you do that? Like, you know what I mean? You see guys like O.J. Owens, man, like literally, you know, parallel to the ground, catching a one-handed interception in practice. You know what I mean? You're like, what in the world, bro? Like guys making just crazy athletic type of plays. It was a great time to be at Tennessee, man, because it was just so many. You just had so many good players, man.
Well, Wade, he brought. It's funny he said that about the Florida game, 04. So I had a C team, 6th grade football game at 11 a.m. in Bridgeport, Alabama. We got done at 12:15, and my grandmother, in her mid-60s, drove me straight to Knoxville. We sat there. We got there, and it's probably the most. I think they packed 109,000 in that.
Yeah, it was packed.
Oh, it was the record largest crowd.
Yeah, that was
when I said Brett Smith a while ago, Riggs, you were talking about when he hit Brown, but when I was a kid, Ames threw that ball down the sideline to Brett, and I've talked to Brett about this, and he cracked up because it was just that DB broke. I don't remember what the DB's name was, but he broke over, and the ball broke. He tapped his toes, and it was just. I think that's when the game switched.
Yeah, that was a huge moment for us at that time.
Well, I mean, I don't have any more questions. Wade, we really appreciate the time, man. I mean, it means a lot to us. Where can people find you at on social media, like Twitter, Instagram, things like that? Your handles.
I think you're the first person. I gotta be prepared for that question right there. I've done more interviews here recently, which has been kind of cool, but I haven't been asked that one. So here we go. I think my Instagram is JWadeUT4.
Okay.
I really like Tennessee. I try to keep Tennessee involved in whatever I'm doing. I think if I do my own youth team and travel around with them, I'm gonna call them the Vols.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. And then my Facebook's just my name. I think that's how that works.
Yeah. Hey, John, we like I said, Zach said, we appreciate you coming on. I guess telling you kind of what we did with the VFL, your stuff. We're constantly trying to raise money to support different things. We'll hopefully be able to send some money your way. We can kind of get together. Maybe we can do a camp down there with guys, and you come up here and do one locally for us. Kind of. Get your work out, and we'd definitely try to raise some money for you to.
Let's get together. Let's make it happen. Let's do it big.
I'm about to say next year when we get this year's kind of late notice. I think there's next week and then the week after. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but next year, man, when we get all this stuff going and we crank things back up football wise, man, we're gonna get everybody together, man. And see now. You got Texas in the mix, so I think eventually we'll probably. I don't know if we'll play them.
I think we'll do a road show down there in Austin.
We'll probably end up doing a road show that way.
There we go. We get it worked out, man. Come on.
Down there cracking your way, man.
Yeah, John, thanks again for coming on with us. We're glad to be doing this. Me and Reed's got a passion for it. Zach as well. We're a bunch of athletes who want to talk ball and life with guys that are doing great stuff, and we appreciate you coming on,
man. I appreciate you guys thinking about me, man. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks again, man.
Thank you, man. Take care. We'll talk soon.
All right, bro.
Hey guys, Coach Tucker here again. We hope you enjoyed our content with Jonthan Wade. Great times, great stories, great fellowship. We touched on a lot of important topics, not only in the athletic field, but in life in general. Huge announcements coming up. We will do a live show, Tennessee Vanderbilt, a little over a week away. We've also got announcements. We're going to be doing a live show at the SEC title game, probably going to be Georgia, Alabama. We know this. We're okay with that. We love the SEC, even though we're Tennessee guys. Yeah. Also, we will be live at Tennessee's bowl game. Wherever we end up, we will be there bringing you the content and doing what we love as well. Huge announcement coming within the next 24 hours about a local live show that we'll be doing at a huge Friday night matchup coming up. Details coming soon. Riggs?
We just appreciate you guys tuning in with us, and we love you guys. We love to give you the content, like my man Tuck said. We love connecting with the fans. We love connecting with everybody, and we just hope you guys continue to keep joining us and supporting what we're doing. Because, like I said, we love giving back, and we love talking ball with our favorite people.
Absolutely, Zach. Glad to have you in here with us.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. Great conversation. Don't forget to follow the show at Tuckergang Sport on Twitter. I think it's at Tuckergang Sports on Instagram as well. So cool stuff. great stuff that we got going.
Stay tuned. Big announcements coming. We love you guys.